Welcome back to True Geordie Extra. For those of you who just can't get enough, because it's never too much, never too much, never too much. It's the day after John Bones Jones became the undisputed, slightly disputed, because the real heavyweight champion of the world has gone elsewhere. And he beat Ciryl Gane. They've uploaded the highlights to BT Sport, which it's 2 seconds of fighting. We're going to watch it. Then I'm going to tell you what I think in regards to, is John Jones the GOAT of MMA? Just a dick punch just to start it all off. Jones is like, fucking hell, man, I'm back in the cage 2 minutes, I get me fucking nuts chopped off. Gadoosh! To be fair, with his history of women, it's probably best that we put him out of action for a while. His ex-wife's at home right now just going, God bless you, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Someone did it. Jones fought very confidently. That's one thing I will say. Like, he didn't come in like, oh my God, it's my first time heavyweight. Like, he took the fight to Ciryl Gane and made Gane play on the outside, and he took the center. And I can't stress enough how mentally that's very important. If you go in there all timid because you're worried about the power of a heavyweight guy, he's going to feel that and he's going to think, you're the bitch in this one. And Jones acted like he'd spent his entire career at heavyweight, which realistically he probably fucking should have done. Look at the size of this man. Even at heavyweight, he has the biggest reach in the UFC. The fact that he was fighting guys like Lyoto Machida and Shogun and fucking Vitor Belfort, who all had careers at middleweight for periods of their career. Like, this is the real test for John Jones. This is where we find out, like, how good is he against guys who are his size? Not that he never fought guys his size, because obviously there were Gustafssons, but generally speaking, he always had a size advantage over most of his opponents.
John's controlling the center of the octagon.
John did a great job of cutting the octagon off and keeping the fight where he wanted it. Jones looks so comfortable in there, and I don't know how. I picked Ciryl Gane purely on the fact that he's just been so active, 3 years out. How could Jones not have slowed down? Then he's going to a new weight class, kind of, like, even though he's a big guy, and he's not going to be as sharp. And yet, I did think if there's anyone who can bend the rules of reality, it's probably John Jones. But seeing him do it so effortlessly, you have to take your hat off to the guy. Straight in, as if he had a fight last week, just all over him. No time for Ciryl Gane to pick him apart. And that was it, right? This right here was the story of the fight. Gane never really tested Jones's chin. And the one time he threw that big backhand shot, John Jones slipped it, timed it perfectly, body lock, I've got a hold of you now, you're fucked, you're in my game. Astounding. Really astounding stuff here. And get down. And that's a huge man he's just took down like his little brother. See that there? Grabbing hold of the wrist. These are the little tricks of the trade that John Jones has. Every time Ciryl Gane tries to build a bit of momentum to get back to his feet, John is quickly holding on to those limbs, weighing him down with that big frame. Get back down. Oh, is that what you think, is it? Double leg. Now he's on top. Going for the neck immediately, threatening the neck. Heavyweight is a slower paced game, generally speaking, compared to the rest of MMA. But John Jones has that like energy and work ethic of a lighter guy. He's used to fighting at a faster pace. He processes things at light speed, and he's thinking 10 steps ahead of Ciryl Gane here. You can tell he's way ahead of him mentally. And look, you've had more title fights than Ciryl Gane's had fights, so he should be. But it's the fact that he's carried that experience up a weight class, and it's really not... I mean, he came in heavier than Ciryl Gane. It's really not affected him at all. And from what I understand from the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu experts who've done a bit of analysis on this fight, is that by Ciryl popping the neck forward, he is literally making a schoolboy error that a Jiu-Jitsu master in John Jones is going to be like, thank you very much, I'll be taking that home. It was very inexperienced from Ciryl Gane. And look, Ciryl is from a camp that Francis Ngannou left. Francis Ngannou left that because he felt one-dimensional. He was exposed by Stipe Miocic in the wrestling department. That's why he went to Extreme Couture and learned how to wrestle, and wrestle fucked the shit out of Ciryl Gane. Jon Jones said before this fight, this guy is one of the most one-dimensional fighters at heavyweight. He's very good at what he does, but he's just too one-dimensional. And the reality is Jon Jones is the most well-rounded fighter we've probably ever seen in MMA. If this was a kickboxing match, my money would still be on Ciryl Gane, but it's not. And there you go. So tight. Yeah. Staggeringly easy for the man they call the GOAT. You know, this may be, I don't know if it's as shocking, but I remember when he fought for the title the first time against Shogun Rua, and I picked him to win that fight, and Shogun was on a streak then. Loads of people thought, nah, you can't just come up to fight for a title this fast and do what you've been doing all these other guys. You can't bully Shogun. Oh, he bullied him. And it's a lot like this fight. It feels the same way. It's almost like the start of a second career at heavyweight. Like, no, you can't move up a weight class and just bully a guy. I genuinely thought, like, you weren't really wrestling much in your last few fights, and when you did, it wasn't like you were overwhelming them with wrestling. They were doing well, but Ciryl Gane's technique was nowhere near of the level, and I thought because of his muscle and his power, maybe he could put up a fight. Not at all. This was so easy. And he beat him even easier than Francis did. Now, Francis, you know, had a bad knee injury in that fight and was nowhere near fully fit. So, you know, maybe that lent towards Ciryl Gane and made Ciryl Gane look a bit better. But this was outstanding from Jon Jones. And I don't rate the man as a human. Some of the things he's done are despicable. But as an athlete, he really is untouched in terms of what he's achieved in the UFC. You could compare him to your GSP. But GSP tapped to strikes against Matt Serra. I mean, I know a lot of people like to say he avenged it. So what? It happened, and it's not a good look on your record when you're comparing it to Jon Jones. He's still a great fighter, but it was there. Anderson Silva massively tailed off, and we've seen him really fade away at the end of his career. Khabib did not defend his title anywhere near the length of time Jon Jones did at one weight class, let alone jumping up and doing it in two weight classes. You know, just a body of work Jon Jones has put together where you could argue, did he lose, against, was it Reyes? But he came away with a decision. We've never seen anyone absolutely obliterate Jon Jones. It's just never happened. And now at two weight classes, it's just untouchable. What a body of work he's put together. I just want to quickly try and be objective about this with some pros and cons of what level of an achievement this is. Where is Jones at right now? Is he the GOAT? But more so, what does he have to do to really leave no doubt in everybody's minds? Because there's always going to be haters and dejectors out there. So pros-wise, he took 3 years out before he did this. To come back and win a fight after 3 years is hard enough. We've seen what time out of the octagon did to Conor McGregor and so many other fighters. So to come and win a fight against a top guy after 3 years out is great. To win a title, that is staggering. To do it against a top guy and Ciryl Gane, fantastic. To make it look easy, elite. To barely take a punch, I don't even know if he did. You know what I mean? Like, it's just world class what we're watching here. And, you know, in a stylistic matchup, I knew that there was things Jones could do, but I just thought that those factors would be too much for him to overcome. And this guy's fight IQ is really one of the greatest we've ever seen. If you were to try and look at the cons, Cyryl's wrestling has been exposed so badly now that Jon Jones isn't the only one who could do this to Ciryl. And there are some other matchups that present some more complex skill sets out there that he may struggle with a bit more. You know, Daniel Cormier, you could argue, as some top fighters have done, could come out of retirement and potentially beat Ciryl Gane. It's a very great win, and because of everything he did in that other weight class, now moving up to heavyweight, winning the title, yes, you could say he cements GOAT status, but there are other fighters who would give him a harder matchup than Ciryl Gane, and he might still lose a fight at heavyweight. That could still happen. So all I'm saying is, I really want to see him, before we completely write, his name down under undeniable GOAT, I want to see him clear out the weight class, and I want to see him be in some tough fights where he really has to dig deep against people who can present more varied skill sets, because Ciryl Gane, it was such a clear route to victory now that we know in hindsight, and I think other fighters will give him a lot tougher tests at that weight class. I don't care about the Stipe fight. I'll tell you for why. The guy barely ever fights, and when he has fought recently, he got smashed to smithereens by Francis Ngannou. That fight, it doesn't get get the juices going. But I get it's a guy with a varied skill set, as I've just said, so I'm kind of fucking my own argument up. And he has legacy, so I get why Jones would want to take that fight, but I think you could argue that there are some guys in the weight class, for example, like a Tom Aspinall, who has very lightning quick striking, good wrestling for an English guy especially, and good jiu-jitsu on the ground. So I think he makes for a really exciting matchup with Jon Jones. Obviously, Francis Ngannou, for example, if we can get him back, that would be a mega fight, a very exciting fight. And this win just makes that fight even more exciting in a way. Again, I'm not taking away from Jones. I think he is the GOAT, but I'm just saying there's harder matchups for him than Gane, and I want to see them. I really hope the UFC don't do what they have been doing. If you look at the heavyweight champion in the UFC in the last 5 years, roughly, they're fighting once a year. It's not enough. Don't get us all excited about the return of Jon Jones and then make us wait another fucking 12 months. We want to see this guy active. When Jones is at his best is when he's regularly fighting, and it also keeps him out of fucking trouble, which we all know Mr. fucking I'll fight you after taking a God knows what is very prone to getting into trouble. He's had more problems with the police than he's had fights in the last few years. So I think for the UFC, they haven't got many stars at the moment. They need to throw everything behind building Jon Jones into what he should have always been, which is the Michael Jordan of this sport. And I just want to see him actually in a fight, because I can't imagine Ciryl Gane feels good about that. That was embarrassing for him. He didn't even leave it all out there in the octagon and get his arse kicked. It became a jiu-jitsu match like so quickly, and he was just wiped out with ease. We need people in there who can stop that from happening and to push Jones to the limit, and then we'll see the very best of Jon Jones as well, because I still have question marks about those last 3 fights at light heavyweight, and there's a lot of people who make excuses. Oh, he wasn't motivated, he wasn't up for it, yada yada yada. That might be true, but that was 3 poor performances, and before we can completely forget about them because he took this guy down with ease, I just want to see him tested a bit more. Yes, he's the GOAT. I agree he's the GOAT, but I just want to see him put the icing on the cake of that legacy and completely wipe out everyone at heavyweight as well, so that he can leave a legacy that we can look at and go, my God, no one can fuck with that. Not even Khabib, Anderson, JSP, even they all have to bow down to Jon Jones at that point. And then we are witnessing greatness on a level we've never even seen before, and never even thought possible, really. So congratulations to Jon Jones, as much as I don't approve of some of his conduct as a human, as a sportsman. Wow, it was amazing. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and tell me who your Achilles heel, the guy who could potentially dethrone Jon Jones, is, in your opinion, in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, stay subscribed to True Geordie Extra, and I'll see you on the next one.